Oklahomans might be a little shaken up after Tuesday morning. 5 earthquakes rattled the central part of that state starting around 2 a.m.
U.S. Geological Survey saying that was a 3.0. 15 minutes later, right at 2 this morning, a very strong 4.3 earthquake shook the Oklahoma City metro area. This is the big one that most everyone felt at about 2 a.m. And these things were felt all the way from here in Oklahoma City down south to Chickasha, Weatherford, Fairview, Stillwater, even on over to Tulsa.
Yep, earthquakes in Oklahoma, not exactly a regular thing.
Our top story, the biggest earthquake in more than 50 years has jolted Iran. A 7.5 magnitude quake has struck the southeastern province of Sistan, Baluchistan. Seismological officials have said the earthquake hit a depth of 95 kilometers in an uninhabited area near the Pakistani border.
The earthquake has been felt in Pakistan and India to the east of its epicenter, and in Persian Gulf Arab countries, including the Saudi capital Riyadh, to the west.
There are conflicting reports about death tolls. The semi-official ISNA news agency said none had been killed, while Iran's press TV gave a casualty figure around 40, and an unnamed official told Reuters he feared hundreds had died.
We have received this amateur footage, which is said to have been filmed in the affected area. It's believed to show a village called Kahir. And now what you can see are clouds of dust rising from a mountainside near a dam.
It's moving at 17th floor. It's not 6th floor, yaar.
Before we go today, we take you to northwestern China's Xinjiang region. A strong sandstorm moved in on Tuesday afternoon, blanketing much of the area with a reddish haze. China's National Meteorological Center said a cold front brought the sand from Xinjiang's deserts into the cities. Visibility is less than 100 feet. Cars are driving with their lights on, and pedestrians are covering their faces to keep out the wind and sand.
Right now is in the hard-hit Chicago area. John, boy, I got to tell you, you're in Des Plaines right now, and I know the river has still been rising. Are you still seeing evidence of that?
Oh, absolutely, Al. As you say, the rain has stopped, but the water's still rising. The river's expected to crest later today, crest this morning. Record flooding in this area. The river's still rising.
A flood watch is in effect for the entire Chicago metro area through Friday morning as wicked weather moves across the Midwest.
Take a look at the national radar and look at the front cutting from north to south and moving to the east. It's a huge weather system stretching really from the Mexican border all the way into Canada, dumping torrents of rain, snow, hail, spawning tornadoes along the way. It's already left a lot of damage behind. The Chicago area particularly hard hit.
The river is expected to crest tomorrow morning at 11.5 feet, a record. Officials are encouraging residents along the river to evacuate.
Floodwaters threaten homes in western Estonia. An icy river overtopped a dam there yesterday. According to local media, 5 people and their pets were helped to safety, and no injuries have been reported so far. Meanwhile, in eastern Poland, more than 100 farms are underwater due to flooding. The flooding on the Buk River is being blamed on a sudden thaw. According to Polish TV, the river hits its highest level since the 60s.
Floods and increased rainfall in the country have left a wave of destruction in their wake. However, further effects could be felt of these rains in the coming month, as the country's farming community has not been spared either in the recent weeks.
Deadly flooding is causing some massive damage to crops in Kenya. The unusually heavy annual rains are wiping out farms and destroying crops across the country. Local media reports that at least 63 people have been killed and over 34,000 displaced by the floods. Heavy rains have been pounding various parts of Kenya, causing flash floods and landslides.
We can speak to our correspondent Terence Terashima in Tokyo. Thanks for joining us, Terry. So we have that report. I guess there's no change that it was a magnitude 7 earthquake. Any later reports coming in of possible damage?
Police and the fire brigade, and they were telling us there was a sort of a two-part shake. First of all, a slow shake, then a large one.
Rescued from the rubble, a woman and her baby are pulled from under a collapsed house after a magnitude 6.6 earthquake hit Sichuan in China.
The quake struck at just before 8 o'clock in the morning, local time. The force of it made the earth move at up to 10 centimeters.
Over 203 are feared dead or missing, and around 11,500 have been injured, following the country's worst earthquake in 3 years.
The army are there at the moment. About 2,000 soldiers have been deployed to the area, and a general, the Chinese general who's been flying over the region in a helicopter, has told local reporters that he's seen a huge number, perhaps 50% of the houses in one area have been almost completely flattened.
Again, to reports, 2,000 or so soldiers are rushing to the scene as part of the rescue operation. This, as you were pointing out, was a powerful earthquake, and the earthquake could be felt for hundreds of kilometres away.
Called the worst flood in recorded history in parts of the Midwest. And at this hour, they are bracing for more rain. Already so bad, this flooding, that people in western Michigan are seeing that. Fish swimming by office windows, ducks as well. And
flooding mayhem in the Midwest. At least 3 people killed in Indiana and Missouri after their cars were swept away in raging floodwaters. Flooding along the Mississippi is causing massive problems. From Illinois to Iowa and further south in Missouri, where more than 100 barges broke free in St. Louis, colliding with a bridge. In Peoria, Illinois, heavy rains caused landslides. Kayaks outnumbering cars on streets in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And in Indiana, one county saw 11 emergency rescues in a single night.